Hey everybody, this is Brendan Hufford. I am a creative class member. You're seeing this initially because you attended this It's SEO Not Sorcery creative class workshop along with myself, Kaylee Moore, and Paul Jarvis. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching it. There are a ton of questions, a bunch of different kind of Q&A that I'm going to do. If you want to check out the original recording, there's a link to that below in the description. If you want to check out the Q&A that I'm about to do now, there's also questions written out in the descriptions. If you were there live and you're like, hey, when is Brendan going to answer my question? Look in the description below. I've timestamped every single one because I love you. And if you're like me and you're selfish and you just want your question answered, look below. Like I said, the same. It's fine. Look below. It's timestamped in there. You can click it. It'll go right to your question. If you want to watch all of this, please do, because there's over 20 questions that we didn't get to in the workshop. I think they are amazing. Like I said, this is not sorcery. SEO does not have to be this crazy complicated task, but it's a skill. It's like anything else, but for some reason people assume that we should all just know SEO. Like, I don't know design very well. I try my best, right? I don't know design. I'm not a developer. I'm really good at SEO because I took time to learn it. And I think that, like anything, you can take time to learn this stuff. And that's kind of the goal of this Q&A right now. So let's dive right into the questions. This first question says, how can you do link building other than buying links on sketchy sites or contributing to other people's blogs as guest bloggers? Any effective link building strategies, especially for a newer business or website? Yes. The number one way to get links is to create something worth linking to. Now, that could either be you yourself, right? Whenever somebody mentions Paul Jarvis, they're going to link to his website. So the more that he puts out into the world, the more value he provides, the more media he puts out, the bigger Paul becomes, the more people are going to link to him. Thus, the more links he has. The other thing you can do is create content worth linking to. Whenever I think of content worth linking to, I think about creating the best possible content on a given topic. So if I'm going to write an article about how to paint my kids' bedrooms, it is literally going to be the best article ever on painting kids' bedrooms, with videos embedded in it and an infographic and fun little things just throughout that are really cool, and all these anecdotes and GIFs, and like, it's going to be really long form, and it's going to cover every single thing somebody could want to know about painting their kid's bedroom, from the technical side of it to the creative side of it to here's 20 different things that we tried and all these pictures of how they went in our kids' bedrooms and mistakes that we made and everything in there. Then when people find that, they're going to want to link to it. It would be silly if they didn't link to this amazing, best piece of content ever. So if you're a new business, we're starting a brand new website, I would highly recommend just focusing 100% on content creation to start, which is the on-page part of SEO, and then later focusing on the off-page part, getting links to your website and things like that. Just focus on doing the best work possible. Make it world-class. Next question. I'm a blank. Can I use SEO to help my clients? The blank could be anything, and the answer is yes. If you're a developer, does knowing more about SEO help your clients? Yeah, absolutely. The way that you code the website, in this case, the way that you code a website, if we're talking about specifically web development, the way you code the website, the way you take the design and decide where different header tags are going to go, and is the H1 tag automatically going to be the same as the title, or is there a place for them to put an H1 tag? I've noticed a lot in professional development, like there's just no H1 tags on pages, which is an incredibly important part of SEO. So the more that you know, the more you make, you code out pages so that they can have really good looking long form content. Maybe this is more front end than back end, but and even that might be a mistake to say, because again, I'm not a developer. But I think everybody from designers to developers, marketers, whoever, writers, of course, knowing more about SEO will infinitely help your clients. So we're not even talking about getting you more clients, but just having this knowledge base. It is like the most beautiful little accent on your already incredible skill set. Is good SEO possible if you don't use WordPress? Of course. WordPress is just one type of content management system. It's just one of the best, for as much as people say it's really complicated, try coding your own website. That's complicated. When WordPress came out, it was like, oh, wow, this is great. This is wonderful. Things are much easier now. But now we have things like Wix and Squarespace. The SEO in a Wix and a Squarespace isn't going to be as good as WordPress. It's not. From the coding side of it, which I said I don't have as much experience with, to the other side of it, of where to put header tags and how Google pulls images. I'll talk about Squarespace in one of the later questions. But yeah, it's totally possible. If this is the hang up, if I don't know how to do WordPress and I can't start my project until I start WordPress, if that's the hang up because you're worried about SEO and WordPress and whatever, versus a platform you're using, stop. Use it. Whatever gets you started, right? The most important thing here is getting started. And if you're at the point now where your business is on Squarespace or Wix or something and you can pay somebody to do this, do that. Pay them to build you a WordPress website. Even if it's just $1,000 to set up a basic theme, a very like high quality, not basic theme, but like something from Studio Press, and to put Genesis on it and things like that. Like that's what, and, and import all your blog posts and make everything look cool and the branding, whatever. Do that, right? You don't have to have it built from scratch. You don't have to pay somebody $25,000 for a website. You don't, and if you're not making any money yet and you have more time than money, learn it yourself. That's what I did. I wasn't born good at SEO. I didn't go to school for this. But I think all of this stuff is totally learnable. But if it's the thing holding you back from starting your thing, don't let it hold you back. Question 4, do I really have to do keyword research? Can I just write about what I want to write about? Lisa also asked this other question that I thought was related. Are keywords relevant today as far as SEO is concerned? Keywords are phrases people search for in Google's, and because we're humans, some phrases are going to be searched for more than others, which is totally natural, right? Do you have to do keyword research? No, not at all. If you're Google's wonderful with synonyms. You'll hear me say this on a couple other questions here in a moment. They're great with synonyms. So the best content ranks for thousands of keywords, not thousands of different keywords, thousands of related keywords. I did a search recently, a kind of a little bit of research on some keyword phrases, and I noticed that like all of the articles that were coming up tops for all these different phrases were not optimized for those phrases. They're optimized for just a big piece of content, or a big like topic rather. And Google knows like, oh, if it's good for this, it's going to be good for this too, right? If it's good for one part of this topic, it'll be good for the rest of it. And Google ruthlessly prunes those types of things to make sure it's serving the best possible results. So keyword research is a great step, but it's definitely not something you should let hold you back. If you use a tool like ahrefs or something like that, that's what I use and love. SEMrush, some people also use. I think that's okay. I prefer ahrefs. But like, again, that's a $100 a month tool. If you're not a professional SEO, it doesn't make sense. If you want to do their 7 days for $7 trial, which I highly recommend, by all means do that. Get your keyword research done and be on your way, making great content and all the other things. But yeah, they're relevant today, but they're not going to make or break your content, right? The question, the reason I think people are asking this, especially Lisa here, is because we don't want to waste our time, right? I don't want to waste 30 hours making this amazing content on something only 20 people search for every month. I thought it was a big problem, but it's really not. Things like that. So making sure they're a big enough problem to solve. There's other ways to do it, just by usually just starting to type those phrases into Google and seeing what Google says is the auto suggest for that. Those are going to be the most popular ones. Can social media help improve SEO? The short answer is no, but the smarter answer, the longer answer is yes. By building relationships through social, sharing my content on social, people discover my content, and then later on when they're writing their own blog posts, they're more likely to link to that content. So it's more of a long game play, but it doesn't factor in. It's not like the number of fans or followers I have increases my rankings and traffic from Google. But it does help get the word out there. It does help build relationships. Those things do help SEO. Hey, Brendan, what do you think about in regards to SEO? This is question 6. When redesigning and rewriting pages, they're already getting some organic traffic. I'd like to keep optimize that traffic, but the copy doesn't totally reflect the site as a whole. Brian, that's a great question. First of all, thank you for showing up live to ask this question. 2, I would always keep adding content. I'm almost always redesigning and rewriting pages on my personal website, on my side projects and on my clients' websites. We're always updating and upgrading things. So when the copy doesn't totally reflect the site as a whole, I'm not sure about that phrasing in that part of your statement. Is it saying you're optimizing it for SEO so it now seems weird? Because then that would be wrong. It should always be what's best for people. If you're thinking you're upgrading it by cramming more keywords in there, not saying you're doing this, Brian, but that's how some people think of it, of like, oh, let me add some more sections and it seems weird now. Or maybe it's already getting traffic, but is this traffic that's converting into subscribers, customers, and clients for you? If it's just traffic to get more traffic, one of the biggest blog posts I have on my website was when me and my son sat down and watched Casey Neistat's first 100 vlogs, and I wrote out 78 tips for entrepreneur dads based on what I had learned. One of my biggest pieces of traffic right now is like Casey Neistat quotes. That's not going to be a client. That's not going to be a customer. Could I optimize for it better? Sure. But it was just something I wanted to write and make and learn and get out into the world. Like I don't care about that for SEO, so I'm not going to try to keep or optimize that post, right? Keeping and optimizing should be for things that are going to convert into sales, clients, customers, etc. So make sure you stay focused on that, and always make sure you're staying focused on doing what's best for people, not what's best for what people say you should do to optimize for SEO. Those of us that really do SEO for a living with big clients and small clients and for ourselves know that the best answer is always doing what's best for people. Great question here from Joseph. I'm hearing more and more about machine learning and AI. How will this affect SEO in the future? How do we get ahead of the curve regarding the new technology? I don't know, Joseph. If at some point machines learn how to write and talk better and with more personality than a human, then they've become self-aware and we have other questions. I will be doing a very different Q&A than about SEO because we now have self-aware machines. I mean, you read everything I read that I love and enjoy, it has a lot of personality and flavor to it. There's no, even with AI and machine learning, there's no formula for like the epic blog post. So I don't think it's going to affect SEO at all. Most content already is being made by machines, and it's terrible. It doesn't rank. The best content still is made by people. And if all of a sudden machines can make better videos and writing than people can, then all people can, we're having a different conversation. Don't let that keep you up at night at all. Ronald, thanks for this SEO webinar invitation. You are welcome, Ronald. Question, SEO local versus international for branding design services. Great question. So first thing is anything that ranks nationally or internationally is also going to rank local. So if I'm an SEO consultant and I rank #1 in the entire United States for SEO consultant, but I'm in Chicago, I'm also probably going to rank #1, right? If you're asking, should I optimize my site? Don't try to optimize your site for like best SEO consultant in America or best SEO consultant in Chicago. Like my website focuses on Chicago because I like working with local clients. And also like I work for a really badass agency called Click Studios here in Chicago. So the more, I can use my website as lead gen for the agency that I work at, that's awesome too. Something I'm excited about, kind of probably moving forward. But like, don't worry about local versus international. If you're branding design services, what's going to stand out a lot more is the content you create for the kind of brands you want to work with. Do you work with, like, what is your kind of, not necessarily niche or niche, is, who do you work best with? Who's your ideal clients? If you just do, like, I don't do generic SEO. I have a very, specific set of clients that I know I work best with. And I say no to a lot of clients because those are not, the types of clients I want to work with. Figuring out who you do branding design services for and then ranking for that. That would be where I would focus. Great question, Ronald. Question 9, what is the best way to use SEO to gain a social media following? Kayla, good question. I would follow up. I wish we got to do this live. Why? Why am I using SEO? Why am I getting people from Google to my website to then get them to leave my website and go to social media? If somebody leaves my website to go to Twitter, or Facebook, or Instagram, they're not coming back. Those platforms are optimized to keep them there. I want them to stay on my website and join my email list. So I wouldn't use SEO to build a social media following. I would use it to build an email list. I would use it to build any sort of relationship I can with them where they give me permission to stay in touch. Now, if that means social, that's great. But with Facebook reach, at like 0%, I don't want to play in anybody else's playground. I want to keep to email right now because that's what works. I know there's people that say like bots get a lot more deliverability. They only deliver well now because we don't hate them yet. We will. It'll become like email if too many people are using bots for Facebook Messenger and stuff. Screw that. Definitely try to keep it in a way, any way that you can communicate best with them. And if that means social in your case, in your business, in your niche, and with your ideal clients, and since we're specifically talking about like freelance with creative class, then by all means. But I would use SEO to get more sales, clients, customers, and try to keep them on my website to do that versus pushing them to social. Good question here from Brandon. I read that 2 types of content you should create to be effective in SEO today are write content as an answer to someone's question, and write authority pieces, basically a long page where you try to be the best resource or article on a given topic. Do you think those are important? Hell yes, absolutely. Answer people's questions, solve their problems, and do so in a way that is as definitive as possible every single time. So those are actually one piece of content. The answer is yes. Good question, Brandon. Does Google crawl Squarespace? Stephanie, sometimes I wonder. I have a client that is on Squarespace, and it's a pain. We're trying to do a bunch of different stuff, and yeah, it crawls it, right? There's ways you can use, Google Webmaster Tools or Google Search Console, it's called now. I'm old, so I still call it Webmaster Tools. Google Search Console, you can hook that up with your Squarespace site and get it to kind of request that Google crawl it when you make updates to it. But sometimes I wonder, again, like it's not ideal. That's why I prefer WordPress. But if Squarespace gets you started, which I think, Stephanie, in your case, it has, by all means, like keep using it. And I'm sure there's some Google searches and videos that'll answer it much better than I do. But yeah, there's ways to get Google to crawl your site. Tamoya asks a really good question here in number 12. I keep hearing duplicate content is bad for SEO. Apologies for the cough. To make websites responsive, I'm creating pages with different media breaking points. However, sometimes a theme I'm using does not show the web pages in the way I want, so I duplicate the content, and oh god, this is terrible. No, don't do this. If you're creating like multiple web pages where it shows an actual completely different web page, that's not responsive. Like that's just serving a different web page. I had a client or a potential client one time that had like a mobile subdomain for the mobile sites, and then the desktop went to their regular homepage, so they were just serving 2 different websites. Don't do this. Here's the thing. If you have a theme, it says a theme I am using does not show the web pages in the way I want. Either learn to code and do your own, or just live with it. If you're a designer, I think you have the skill, or a developer, you have the skills to fix that. And if you're not, either learn it or just deal with. I'm not a designer or developer, and I just deal with it. Like the theme I want looks decent enough on mobile, fine, whatever. Like just keep it moving. But yeah, don't duplicate your content on the website. That just is confusing to Google and to humans, right? Like I just think that causes a lot of headaches and stuff. But I wouldn't stress it. Like duplicate content is bad for SEO. We're looking at duplicate content on your website, but also on other websites. So as much as we can not duplicate our content in different places, now sometimes that just happens because like 5 of my websites might have, a disclaimer that is similar, or 5 pages on a website might have the same disclaimer for something on the content or whatever. I know Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income has income reports, and every single one has the same disclaimer on it. Like, I guess that's duplicate. But yeah, I think that this, like having a different thing served for mobile and tablet and desktop for each page is kind of weird, but it's also, I'm kind of speaking above my pay grade, Tamoya, so I apologize. This is a little bit outside of my lane, but I hope that answer is helpful. Timur I hope, Timur, I'm saying your name right. I apologize. I'm really big on getting names right. So if I didn't, please let me know. And I will, again, apologize. I'm very sorry. Will quality of keywords win over quantity when it comes to SEO? If a website has quite a few pages with 3 to 5 keywords on each page compared to 1 to 2 good keywords, this is not how keywords work. So it's very blunt. That's just not how keywords work. If you rank for something, you should rank for all of the tangential ones as well. I have a page on my photography business website where it's about like naming your photography business, and I think the one of them has like over 400 keywords that it ranks for. So if I'm not sure what the goal of the question is, but again, if we're focused on like content first, I want to rank for all of the keywords, number one for all of the keywords, and I'm going to create a piece of content that is worthy of that ranking. I would focus there. So I think that the quality of the keywords would matter over quantity, but like the answer is both here. I want to have a website that's going to rank for tons of different keywords with, whatever topic it's around, and I want those to be the best ones. So I guess the answer here is both. Question 14 from Anastasia. Thank you for organizing this. You're welcome. Most of my clients come to me via word of mouth. Do I need SEO? No, you don't. I mean, if most of your clients, I think it's dangerous that all your clients come to you through one method right now. If that ever falls apart or doesn't work out for you, that's a big problem. But no, you don't need it. Apple doesn't use social media. Apple doesn't need everybody. Oh, you got to be on Facebook. You're crazy if you're not on Facebook. Well, Apple doesn't. Like, they don't need it. So don't let anybody should you with SEO. You'd think I would be like shoulding, like you should use SEO. Everybody should do that. You don't need it. You don't need a good, a well-designed website. You don't even need a website. That's what's crazy. We live in this weird world where like we think like everybody definitely. I know people with like multi-million-dollar companies that like have websites that look like they are straight out of 1997, and they're killing it. They have these huge companies, thousands of employees, terrible websites. See them all the time. So no, you don't need it, but is it worth learning in the future? At least having some idea about it? Maybe. I think so. Good question though. Question here from Sarah. I've been taking the ahrefs course on SEO. Yeah, Sarah, you are, because you're smart and awesome. The person teaching the course seemed to suggest having just a high-ranking keyword as the title of an article. So I think, Sarah, you're talking about Tim Solo. He works at ahrefs and he is brilliant. Something like books like Lord of the Rings. So the example Sarah's talking about is an author. If an author was creating a website, like how would an author use SEO? Well, they want to rank for books like other books that are similar. Like if you wrote sword and sorcery novels, maybe ranking number one for books like Lord of the Rings, and then you had a bunch of books on there that are like Lord of the Rings, including your books, that would really help you. No, I would not title it Books Like Lord of the Rings. I would make it the coolest, most like well copywritten article that you could think, or the copywritten title ever. But having some of those keywords or like something similar to those keywords, Google will figure that stuff out. I would definitely make it longer and more personal. I wish I had some funny Lord of the Rings joke off the top of my head, but I would definitely make it really, really personal. Not just 11 books like Lord of the Rings. Like I guess, but if you're an author and a writer and that's what you're writing, like you should probably be able to write a better title for something like that. Whatever your actual keyword is, I think that having a really smart, funny title is, that gets you the clicks. Even if you're ranked second, but you have a cooler title, most people still click the first one, but it might be a little bit different the other way around. Question 16. So my company name is a misspelling of a single word. What sort of things can I do to help search engines not suggest to people the correct spelling? Andrew, this is rough. This is hard for SEO. You just have to get big enough that enough people are Googling that misspelling that Google doesn't go, did you mean this? Like imagine when like Facebook started and people are Googling Facebook. It would be like, what is that? Did you mean this other thing probably? Because Facebook's not a word. So I'm not saying you have to get as big as Facebook or Google or anything, Uber. I'm sure Uber, for when they started and people were Googling the word Uber, it was not a rideshare company, right? Lyft, Lyft. Like when people started Googling Lyft, I'm sure people, Google initially was like, did you mean Lyft Lift? I'm not saying you have to get as big as one of them, but that could definitely pose a problem. I think the advantage for SEO is not just people Googling your company name, but also people Googling content related and things that are going to drive those, like customers, clients, things like that. But that's only for branded search, and I wouldn't stress branded search too much, Andrew, unless you're hearing from people, hey, I tried to Google you and I can't find your website. And in that case, like that might be more of a branding question, right? But still a good question. I apologize, Andrew, if I skipped over that a little bit. Happy to follow up with you. Question 17, instead of one-time website design projects, how do I grow MRR, monthly recurring revenue, with SEO? Yay, three-letter acronyms. How to get started. What do services look like? I'm a freelancer currently, as well as starting a distributed agency with another developer. Joseph. Joe, good question. Learn SEO is first. How do I get started? Learn it. Ahrefs has a great course. There's another course that I recommend called SEO for Bloggers that I think is really good, written by or created by another guy, Matt Giovanisi, who also uses Ahrefs like me. I would check that out in the links below. I'll link that up. But if your only goal is to increase your monthly recurring revenue, don't. It's bad. So I would continue focusing. Like, you're not going to be able to do both design projects and good SEO. Like having this is different than like website updates. Like the ongoing SEO services I do involve a lot of content creation, a lot of outreach, a full team of link prospectors, outreach, writers, all these different moving parts. It is not something that you can just like tack on for another $20 a month. That's what happens when people come to me. They're like, well, I pay my current guy $100. Why is yours $2,500? Because what's that $100 getting you? And they're like, well, I don't know. Well, that's terrible. Like, is that, and I don't think that's any of the money we want to take from clients, right? I don't want to take anybody's money. If I'm a designer, I don't want to tack on SEO to get a couple hundred extra bucks a month. I want to actually like have them see some results with it. And I think that that's going to be really important. And Joseph, I think the more you look at what it takes to do good ongoing SEO services, the more you'll see how you have to continue. You're going to need to start getting either freelancers or other freelancers or building a team around SEO to do it really, really well for clients that are not going to like nickel and dime you. The clients that you are going to get at $200 a month are going to expect the Cadillac services at the Honda Civic prices. And they're not people you want to deal with ongoing, because you can't really do that great of work at $200 a month. You just can't do that much outreach. You can't create that much content. It's going to be really difficult. So I think that, looking at learning SEO and maybe doing ongoing consulting with them could be something really cool, where you're kind of advising what changes they should make and what they should do month to month. But, and I'm not saying, Joseph, I apologize if I frame this as like you're some sort of like money hungry jerk. In retrospect, that is completely wrong and not at all what I was intending to do. I feel like it just came out that way. But yeah, I would just like really take a step back and really, it's like me saying like, oh, I have all these SEO clients. Why don't I start billing them for design too? Like, yikes. I would really have to like do it really well and really put some time into it, or like conversion optimization or something else that, I just don't want anybody to think like this is just something you can kind of dabble in. I think it's worth investing in and building like a real skill set around. Stephanie, great question here. Do I really have to write? Can I just make videos? Sure. I mean, if you want to make videos and then pay somebody to write, I think it's a great idea. What if I made this video right now? This is a really long video with all these questions. What if I have a transcript below it that is edited by somebody that's really good, and then we put it below the video on a blog post? Is it going to rank well? Sure. I'm sure it's going to be thousands of words long. You just need, right, you said you need the copy of what the video is about, not just what it's about. You can't just put like 100 words underneath it and think it's going to rank for anything. But But if you have like really good long form videos and workshops, and like podcasts are great for this, by all means, yeah, you can solve it with that. You just need to then pay somebody else or have a relationship with somebody else who will, and maybe in exchange, maybe there's some sort of services exchange. Whatever you do, you could exchange services with them to get that done. Next, question 19. When meeting with clients for the first time for SEO, how do you explain it to them? So Ryan, this is usually done during a pitch to a client who has, is more focused on non-SEO stuff. This is somebody who, I do this a lot with Click Studios. So being their SEO lead, most of our clients are design clients. So when I explain SEO to a design client, the best way for me to explain it to them is two ways, with analogies and with hard numbers. I like to start with hard numbers, with SEO saying, here's what you guys want to rank for. Here's how many people are searching that every month. If I can show them in hard numbers, 28,000 people are looking for what you do every month. Currently, none of them are finding you. Optimizing your website, and this is kind of the analogy, building your authority in Google is what will get those people to your website. All SEO is, search engine optimization, is building authority in Google. We can have things on our website that build our authority, and things off of our website on the rest of the internet in the rest of the internet that build that authority. And that's usually where I keep it. I have other examples of, building a house and parts of a car and I was a teacher for 10 years, so I love me some good analogies. But, I think that's the best. The best way to explain it to them the first time is, these many people are searching for you every single month with these phrases. None of them are finding you right now. Here's who they're finding. And it'll be their competitors. And they'll go, oh, crap, I want those people. I had no idea I could get another 28,000 people to my website. Things like that. Another question from Ryan. Awesome. How do you not appear spammy to potential clients, like the hundreds of emails? Well, I get those emails too. I'm an SEO person and people are offering me SEO services. So I feel you. I mean, Ryan, this is such an easy. It's like, be a real human, have a real relationship. Like, if you're cold emailing people, send out 3 emails a day, cold emails, but be very real. Be so normal that it's just, there's no formula. There's no cold outreach formula. Just, you have to be a totally regular person. Don't try to hack it. Don't try to do anything. Just try to be really thoughtful. Be like, if I got this, would I at least read it? And would I probably reply? And if the answer is yes, then that's the email you want to send. Question number 21, do we need to create or should we create blog category pages, meaning a landing page for each category? Megan, this is an awesome question. So I know Kate Flanders does this. She has category pages for the months because she kind of has themes every single month. If your category pages don't serve a purpose in the navigation of your website, you don't need them. But if each category is a different thing and it helps to kind of lay stuff out in a way that helps humans navigate your website and also helps Google and other search engines crawl the website, then by all means make those landing pages. But otherwise, I wouldn't stress them. If it depends on your relationship with your audience and with your potential clients and customers, if it makes more sense to just have a blog roll where it's just kind of timeline, that's fine. I do find that the category can be really, really helpful. If you're here just to learn, you're on my personal website, brendanhufford.com, you want to learn just about SEO, you don't want to read any of my personal ramblings, cool, here's a page for that. That's a way that it might be really, really helpful. Question 22, can you guest post the same article to different blogs? I did a guest post on a blog that's now defunct, but maybe I'll add that to my own blog. Stephanie, good question, Steph. Yes. Only in your case, though. If it's not on the internet anymore, then by all means, use it. But I've had that happen to me too. I wrote guest posts 5 or 6 years ago, and they're not around anymore, so I can put those anywhere I want. But I would never guest post somewhere else and then also put that content on my own website or anywhere else, unless you know how to do that with it's called a canonical tag that tells Google hey, wherever I wrote this the first time on that other website, rank that first. But this is how most syndication is done, where you'll write it and then maybe Huffington Post is we want to post this too, and then Life Hackers, any of those big content syndication things, or people also post their articles on Medium with a little note like, this was published first on my blog a year ago, things like that. But yeah, feel free in your case. If it's not on the internet anymore, it's fair game. We got about 5 questions left. I really just want to thank everybody. Well, first, if you're Steph and you fast forward to question 23, you're awesome. But everybody else who's been listening, watching this whole time, really appreciate it. Really thank you not only for your time, but also for your efforts in wanting to get better at SEO. I hope that this is helping demystify things a little bit. You're hearing the things that I'm saying over and over again and realizing it just sounds like doing good work for real people. That's really the theme of how I think about SEO and why I've been so successful with it. So Steph's question is, do words that are used in Instagram posts, Facebook Biz Posts, do they add to SEO? No, not unless you copy and paste them onto like your website somewhere. They don't matter. Question 24, how do you optimize for local and international SEO at the same time? Ryan, you focus on whichever one's bigger, like the branding services question earlier. If you want to rank for everything, I'm kind of curious, like, I want it to rank for local, like Chicago and the UK or something. Like, I'm not sure how to do this or what your question. I know how to do this. I'm just curious what your question is. The best way to do it that I've seen, like if you have multiple locations, would be to have different pages, like pages built out for regions. We just did a really great website for a client where that client has a national level company. So they rank nationally. They also rank internationally because they have locations in Central and South America and all these other places. But they also rank for they also have local pages. So they have these kind of like big service pages, and then they have separate pages built out for the regions, like the states and the countries, and then cities even. So it's kind of like built out in this really cool kind of, if you think about how a sitemap would be laid out, with like the pyramid coming down from like bigger stuff, then down into regions, then down into like more city and smaller locations. And then those different pages would be optimized for each like particular very specific thing. I hope that helps. Again, happy to go over this soon, or go over this in more detail. How do you handle a website redesign without losing any rankings you gained with your old website? Simple. You just set up really good 301 redirects. So you can set up a very generic one of like, I want everything on my old site, no matter what, to just go to my new site's homepage. That's probably a bad idea. But you could also set up very specific ones of like, every single page on the old site has a 301 redirect that points to the new one, to the same page on the new website. So if my old website was RyanSEO.com and the new website is RyanIsAwesome.com, RyanSEO.com/about would go to RyanIsAwesome.com/about, or whatever. You just have to write them all separately. You can either use plugins, or I always like to put them in the htaccess if possible. I think it's a little bit cleaner and faster. 2 questions left. Number 26, Mandy, awesome question. Can you recommend any online WordPress SEO training courses? Yes, and it feels so good not to recommend a course. Yeah, here, buy my course. I don't have a course right now. Maybe someday I will. But right now, I have a really great one that I got to be a part of a little bit. I got to be a bonus interview in Matt Giovanisi's SEO for Bloggers course. Even if you're not a blogger, I think it would still be really helpful. He's one of the smarter people that I know when it comes to SEO. He has a great course. I think it's a good value, and he really, really knows his stuff. The link to that is below in the description here in the YouTube video. Finally, OD, last question, Devil's Advocate, is the best SEO word of mouth? Isn't random organic traffic is random organic traffic not your ideal client? Yeah, random organic traffic is definitely not my ideal client. People looking for Casey Neistat quotes are not my ideal client. But the best SEO is not, well, it's word of mouth in as much as it's everybody's thinking about you and talking about you and then writing about you on the internet, making videos about you. That's great. The best way to optimize is just to be top of mind for everybody. But if you're still trying to get top of mind, it's not random organic traffic. This means you have some sort of strategy about what am I going to write about, what problems am I going to solve on my website, and for who, that when they search for those things and the way they talk about those things, they're going to find me. So seeing SEO and random organic traffic, those are completely unrelated things. Random organic traffic is what you do when you don't do it, or is what you get when you don't do any SEO. So the best SEO, answer first question, best SEO is word of mouth, but you also have to be Apple, you have to be Facebook, you have to be Airbnb, right? And random organic traffic is what you get when you do the opposite of everything we've talked about today. So to kind of wrap things up, thank you so much. I've radically changed my life with SEO. I think that other people can do the same. You can learn more about me at brendanhufford.com. Please check out Creative Class if you haven't yet. There's a link to that in the description as well. I apologize I didn't put it on the slide. Check out Creative Class. It's what taught me how to start a freelance business, which then allowed me to, I still have some freelance clients, but I do most of my best work with the agency that I work at, and I love it. I have a fulfilling career working in an office with tons of people that I love, and with some mentorship from just incredible partners at the agency, and I'm really grateful for that. And Creative Class was a step for me to get there. And I still learn so much. I'm really active in the Creative Class Slack community, so definitely check out creativeclass.co. Again, the link is in the description, as well as Matt Giovanisi's SEO course, which is kind of the course that I recommend right now. So definitely check those out. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you soon.